I'm like, so when do the other workers get in here? It's us. We're the 2 workers. Who? What does that have to do with you paying me? Pay me my freaking money. Are you crazy? You'll go and take your break and he's calling you back off of your break to help on the floor. I've been taking food this whole time, and now when you don't have no money, you want to tell me that I have to pay for food? Absolutely not. You're making stuff up because you're broke. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Makita, but you can call me the real Impulse. And on this channel, we're teaching the girls how to spend their money that pays them. Pays up. And if you're not treating yourself, that is weird. Do me and the rest of YouTube a favor and stop being weird. So today is gonna be a continuation of this new series that I'm starting on my channel. It's called Before I Was Lux. So basically that's gonna be me talking about all the things that happened to me before I was the big Lux Impulse that I am today. Big luxury, big treating myself. But all of this stuff happened before I even knew my worth. Y'all see what I'm saying? Y'all seeing what I'm saying? So today I gotta tell y'all about the worst job I've ever worked at. And oh, shop luxempulse, luxempulse.com for your chic accessory needs. I have to tell y'all, this is the worst. And keep in mind, I've been at some bad jobs. I have a story time with my friend that we did another story time because we worked at the same bad job, and I went from that bad job to this bad job. Oh my goodness. So let me get right into it for y'all. So we're gonna take this story back, I think, don't quote me, 3 years. This is when my last day at that job was. So I was working at that job in beginning of 2021 to the end of 2021. So April to November. I wasn't there for that long, but child, I got some experiences. When I applied to this job, I first applied to this job the summer before, right? So that's in 2020. But in 2020, I got accepted to my other job, which was actually the worst job to date until I worked at this job. Then this job was the worst job to date. Y'all following? I feel like I'm getting y'all confused. So let me name these jobs. So the first job that I was working at, we're gonna call it S. The next job that I'm working at, we're gonna call it Nubo. So I'm working at S prior to working at Nubo. I quit S to get to Nubo, and now I'm at Nubo. Y'all following now? Okay, names make it easier. So now I'm at Nubo. When I first applied to Nubo, I got accepted, but I declined to work at S. So now we're at the interview number 2. So interview number 2, he was like, he didn't really need to interview me because he saw nothing wrong with my interview prior, and he feels like I would be a great fit. It was unfortunate that I had another opportunity before, but now, you know, bygones be bygones. You're here now. Great. You're going to work here. Hired. Okay. I'm hired at Nubo. Nubo is a healthy food spot slash pescatarian spot. I'm not going to say vegan because they had fish there. So it was pescatarian for the fish, but literally everything else was vegan in that store. Literally everything was vegan. Well, no. We had vegetarian stuff, not vegan stuff. So we had vegan, vegetarian, and pescatarian, but the owner, the person who interviewed me, was a pescatarian, so he's not gonna have no meat in his store. So it's a healthy food kind of store, you know? So you would think that people there are like, you know, happy, their body is well, because, you know, like not body, but their emotions are more regulated because they're not having all these high processed foods and meat and da-da-da-da-da. You would think, right? No, wrong. Keep that to yourself. Let me tell you my experience. So when I first worked there, the job was not bad, y'all. I loved this job. But we gotta fast forward into all the times and the things that this man has done. Let me get into the nitty gritty. When I first started working there, my first day I walked in, it was only one other person in the store. He was basically the supervisor because he opened the store. I mean, you can't open the store without having a key or whatever, you know? So first of all, I'm in there and I'm waiting outside because he's downstairs. So the place had an upstairs and a downstairs. The downstairs was not for customers. The downstairs was like, you know, fridges, ovens, you know, things like that, like in a restaurant. So he's downstairs. I'm waiting outside. Keep in mind, y'all, it is 6 o'clock. No, it was 7 o'clock in the morning. 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm sitting outside waiting. Keep in mind, I'm not in a not so nice neighborhood. I'm not in no, you know, Manhattan. People is outside already at this hour. You know, people are in the offices. No, we still in Brooklyn, okay? I'm waiting outside, sitting out there. Homeless people are walking by me, crackheads. Like, I'm not saying the neighborhood was like horrible, but during certain times of the day in New York City, you're gonna see those types of people no matter where you go. I was in the time where you're gonna see those types of people. So I'm sitting there because it doesn't have like a seating outside, so I'm like leaning on the ledge of the store, and I'm calling the manager because that's the only phone number I have. So I'm calling. This man is asleep. This man is asleep. How are you asleep, bro? So I'm calling. No answer. I'm outside for like 30 minutes. I call him again. All of a sudden he was up. No, you was asleep. Don't pretend you was asleep. So he's up and he was like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't get to my phone. I'm at the other store. Cause this store has 3 stores, I think. 2 or 3 stores. Yeah, what's his name? I'm gonna name him R. That's the supervisor that's in the store. R is he should be in the store. And I'm like, well, I've been sitting out here for 30 minutes. So what do you want me to do? He said, give me a second, I'm gonna call him. He calls him, he comes up, R comes up, he opens the door, and he's like, I'm sorry, I didn't know you was here. I was getting the store ready to open. The store opened at 8 o'clock. A lot of stuff you gotta do. So he opens the door. He was like, hi, my name is R. What's your name? And I tell him my name, and he said, yeah, the manager told me that you were gonna be here today, but he didn't tell me what time. I didn't know you were coming in this early. I said, yeah, because this is my availability because I'm in school. At the time I was in school. And he was like, oh, okay. So have you ever done like this kind of work before, And I'm like, no, this is like my first time working in food or like anything relatable to food. Like, I've never worked in food service. I worked in customer service, but not food service. And he was like, okay, so I'm gonna need to be training you while I'm setting up the store because there's nothing for me to give you because you've never done nothing before. So I was like, okay. So the whole time in the morning, I'm like following him around, like he's showing me like, this is what we do, we open this, y'all know when you're new, they're teaching you this stuff. That's what he was showing me. He was doing a good job. Now it's only 2 of us in the store. It's 8 o'clock. The door's open. It's still 2 of us in the store. I'm like, so when do the other workers get in here? It's us. We're the 2 workers. Who's the 2 workers, yo? This man literally has a new person and a supervisor to open his store. Are you crazy? Nobody in their sane mind does that. Am I bugging? I'm not bugging. But anyways, I didn't blink twice at it. I was like, okay, so maybe it's a slow-paced store, because y'all know when, because it wasn't like mom and pop. Well, it was mom and pop because it wasn't a franchise. It was just 3 stores, and each store had their own owners. Like, it's a brothers franchise, so one brother owns this side and the other brother owns that side, and then they just share the name brand, but they have their own ways of running their stores. So I'm thinking like, okay, this store is like, you know, chill, mellow, nobody's coming in, like they don't need another person. Like, I know there's some cafes that would have like 1 person in the store like working, and then 1 person is doing all the backroom work, cleaning and stuff like that, making sure that everything is getting set up while 1 person takes care of customers. And I understand that because some places really aren't busy and they don't make enough money to pay more people. When I tell y'all, on my first day, I was running around like a headless chicken. Why didn't I quit that day? I don't know. The manager did end up coming in 30 minutes after, but as soon as those doors opened, it was like, can I get this? Can I get that? Can I get this? Can I get that? So many customers walk into that door. I mean, I don't know if it was maybe just that day, because after that it wasn't like that, but that very first day, y'all, it was crazy. And my supervisor he was working because I didn't know anything. I just started today, so he was just telling me what to do. Like, so when we had to make smoothies, he was like, put 1 cup of this, put 1 cup of that, put 1 cup of this, put it, blend it, and I'll tell you the next one. And I'm gonna just keep taking customers orders and making this up, because he had to also make the food, the drinks, cause like all other drinks, like I was only making the smoothies because those things you would put, like, he could tell me what to put together. I don't know how to make no foods. I don't know how to, at this point I wasn't a barista yet. I didn't know how to steam no milks, pull no shots, nothing. So I had to do all of that stuff. Well, he had to do all of that stuff while I was doing the smoothie stuff. So it was a lot of stuff going on. That was the first day. The first day was hectic, but the store owner came in and he kind of just, like, you know, calmed it down. He helped with the situation. He actually ended up putting me on the register because I worked on a register before multiple times. I had previous job experience, so it was just pressing the amount, taking cash, and giving cash. Like, I could do that. So he put me there while he was on the smoothies and R was on, like, the other stuff. So now it was like a little bit more, like, not calm, but it was less hectic. The store owner, he kind of apologized. He was like,
I didn't know it was gonna be like this on your first day. Like, I'm sorry.
So I was thinking, like I think that's what made me, like, not quit, because I was like, okay, he didn't realize what he was putting me into. Like, he was just, you know, thinking that it was gonna be a slow morning. You would have time to learn, figure things out, stuff like that. So anyways, fast forward. This job isn't so bad. I'm liking it. I'm liking the smoothie vibe. I like making smoothies. I like doing all this stuff, you know, chill. I'm gonna say we're like a month or two in now, and at this point I've never had like an official, like, sit down and do all the training stuff, but at the same time I get it because it is a small owned store. Like, you know, one person owns the store. This is not like a franchise, a corporation. Like, this is one person owned. Like, I don't think they do those kinds of things in, like, smaller stores. Like the other store, I was about to say the name of the store, at S, we filled out a bunch of training modules. At this store we didn't have that, but 2 months in, he decided that there were a lot of new people that he hired at this store location and the other store location that he owned, and there were a lot of people that didn't know the right ways to do things, communicate with customers, show up to work, like in clothing wise and things like that. So he was like, okay, because you don't really know, and there's a lot of people that don't know, I'm gonna have all of you guys come to a training that I developed so that we can all understand the protocols for work. So I'm like, okay. During this meeting, he's telling us a bunch of stuff that I kind of already picked up on already. I mean, some people were bugging with the work attires and the types of shoes and how you wear your hair and you have to wear your apron, like a bunch of stuff like that. People were not doing, and I'm like, all right, y'all are dragging it. But like, there was other stuff in there that I was like, oh, okay, I know that now. So anyways, fast forward. Keep in mind, this training, he broke down everything in the store. No questions were left. I didn't have any questions about anything. I was completely understood. He was here, I was there, right there. So after the training, we're gonna fast forward like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I'm in there getting my food I'm going home. I was getting my food to go home. So my coworker at the time, she was filling up my plate. So she got a plate of food and she put all the stuff that I wanted. So I got the quinoa, the steak and peppers, the vegetable, like everything that I wanted. She put it on her plate, but she put it on her big plate. And the store owner was standing right there. And then she charged me up for it and she rang me out $1. And then he looked at me, he looked at her, and we looked at each other, and then he started, like, it was like that passive aggressive laugh, like trying to be funny, but he was actually like trying to be like, no. So he was basically saying, you know, he said,
you're getting away with highway robbery. Huh.
What do you mean? So I asked him, I said, what do you mean? And I'm trying to like match that energy too, like, what do you mean? And then he was like, you're technically supposed to pay for the food when you're not working.
What?
And I said, what? And then she said, I thought it was $1 for the plate and the food was free because that's what you told us at the training. So I'm glad I'm not the only one. So he goes,
the food is a discounted charge when you're working and you have to pay full price when you're leaving.
Me and her both knew that he said the food is free, and if you want to pay for a container, you can, or you could bring your own container to take the food out. Nowhere in this training did this man say that we had to pay for food. Keep in mind, y'all, we've been always taking out food. Like, we be standing there taking out food, having a little snack. I mean, you're not supposed to technically, but we be doing it. So you mean to tell me that now, today, when you see me taking this plate of food, I was supposed to pay for it? And he was like, I'll let you slide this time, but next time just know that you're supposed to be paying for the food. I looked at her and I looked at him and I said, okay, and I walked off. Because you're not gonna make up rules for me to be working here. Like, y'all, now you're pissing me off. Like, don't start making stuff up because you're going broke. Because y'all have to keep in mind, he started like getting less, cause like my first day was crazy, but he started getting less customers throughout the days. It's been slow most days that I've been working there. So yeah, that day probably really was an outlier, the first day that I worked there, because it was really slow after a while. It was really in and out of the store. Like, we had our usuals, we had our regular customers, but other than that, nobody was really walking in and out of the store. So I guess it was okay that we didn't really have a lot of people, because we didn't have nobody to pay anyways, because we wasn't making no money. So now we're in the next day, because that just happened yesterday. So now we're in the next day where we all come in the next day. So now it's her, because she's a new hire now with me. It was me, and then she was hired within that 2-month span of the training, and then she was trained with me in the same training thing. So it was R, then her, then me. Keep in mind, R wasn't even, I just found out R wasn't even working at the job for that long. R only been working at the job for a month before I started there. So when he made 3 months, I made 2 months, she made 1 month. We were all basically new. So she comes in and she's telling me, we're talking about the situation, and then the store manager, he comes in and basically we ask him, like, what do you mean that we had to pay like this whole time for food? Like, break it down for us now, because now we're confused. He said, yeah, so anytime that you're taking food for your breaks or taking food like to leave, when you're taking food for your break, is discounted because you're on the clock. When you're taking food to leave, you have to pay full price because you're not working. Which made no sense to me, but go off. And then she was like, but I remember you saying that the food was free and you have to just pay $1 for the container, and even smoothies was free. He said,
Smoothies are full price.
What?
bro, at this point, you're making stuff up because you're broke. This man was just straight up lying at this point. He's telling us that we have to pay full price for the smoothies. Never was a discount for the smoothies. We have to pay discounted price for the food. Never was a free food plate. Never was $1 for a plate. You have to pay for food when you're leaving. It was never free to walk out. Y'all, I've been working here for 2 months. I've been taking food this whole time, and now when you don't have no money, you want to tell me that I have to pay for food? Absolutely not. You don't get to change the rules just because you're broke. It don't work like that. I don't care. So anyways, now it's getting a little bit rocky because y'all know how she talked to him about the changing of the rules and stuff. She had no problem telling him all the stuff that he was doing wrong every time. So from that, I kind of took up on that too. Like, hey, you're not coming to work on time. Like, it'd be busy and you're not here. The store owner, I'm telling him, like, yo, you're not here. And she would tell him that stuff too. Like, but she would do it like more often than me. Because keep in mind, I'm not used to telling like the store owner, manager, whatever, like about themselves. Like, I'm still learning this type of stuff. But like, you have to hold people accountable when they're not doing their job, because at the end of the day, he's supposed to be at this job just like us. We all get paid to be here. Like, you can't just leave us hanging because you own the store. It doesn't work like that. So she's telling him like about himself, like, you're always late. I don't like how you spoke to me during this time. Like, just a bunch of stuff. And then I guess that kind of made him have like a bias towards her. Like, he thought that she was too mouthy is what he would call it, or she had an attitude problem. But it wasn't an attitude, because she is the nicest person, most sweet-spoken person that I've ever worked with. So I know she didn't have an attitude when she addressed him. I know she told him in a not sweet, she probably didn't say like, oh hey, like, I don't, but she probably was like, hey, I don't like how you spoke to me during this time, or how you addressed this situation. Like, you know, like adult conversation. Because keep in mind, she's older than me, and R is also older than me. Wait a minute, round it back up, because I got more. There was this other supervisor that had came in, but she came in because R had quit. So R had quit because he didn't like how the store manager was treating him in the store. So when you're the key holder like he was, you open the store completely by yourself. R, the co-worker that I just started working with, I'm gonna name her T. So R, T, and then we had a new co-worker. Y'all, we had a new co-worker. I'm gonna name her Sarah. So it was R, T, Sarah, me, and the store owner's partner, and then the store owner. So at this point, we all kind of have a problem with how the store owner runs the store. Rules apply sometimes. He also did that with customers. We had these regular customers that wanted to call on the phone and order and pick up in the store and pay. And he was like they've been doing this since before I've been working here, right? And we were letting them do that, but then he was like saying like, oh, they're not technically supposed, like him with his technicalities, but we're technically not supposed to be doing that, blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay, so what do you want me to tell them on this phone, because they're telling me that you've been letting them do it. So basically he was like, just tell them no, and if they want to speak to the manager they can, and just pass me the phone. I said okay. So that's what I did. And when they came in, they were heated because they were like, every time, like, this man, he lets us do it, and then when he feels in the mood, he would let us pay in the store, and when he's not in the mood, he don't let us. He's too confusing. And at this point, they're already irritated, but they're not as irritated as they got to the point where I was about to quit the job. Like, towards that period, they were like, I'm done with this job. But in the beginning, like when I first started working there, they were just like irritated. So they're irritated with how he's like operating the store and how he makes up his own rules. Everybody's irritated with that. We're irritated with the lateness. We're irritated with the made up rules. We're irritated with the lack of support. We're irritated with it was like not really, no, it was micromanaging, because you would be, keep in mind, this man did not have a recipe to any of his foods. He didn't have a procedure. So like during this training that we had, none of this kind of stuff was said. So there was no smoothie making recipe, there was no drinks recipe, like, you know, matcha, his hot chocolate. Keep in mind, his hot chocolate was made with the actual chocolate bar and steamed milk, and we had to melt it and make it. Never taught us how to make that. Didn't tell us the types of things he wanted us to put in it. The drinks never had any, like, you know, no recipe of any kind. Keep that in mind. So because it didn't have any of those kinds of recipes, every time you made a drink or a food, depending on the person, it tasted different. So customers were so agitated because it was like, you could never come in here and get the same drink twice unless the same person is here to make it. And that's annoying because the same person is not always here to make it. So I'm like, I'm talking to the store owner's like partner, and I'm talking to her and I'm telling her like, these customers are complaining about this, that, and the third. And she's telling me like, all right, I'm gonna teach you how I make everything. So when I'm not here, at least you guys can make it the way that I make it, because I make it a certain way that everybody likes. Like, that's the way that the way that she made it is the technique she came to match the flavors when she first started working there, because she didn't always work with her partner. She used to have her own job somewhere else, but then, you know, she's pregnant, you know how that goes. So she taught us everything, like how she makes everything in a kind of way, right? So we all learned it. So I'm gonna say, let's fast forward like 2 weeks after that. So we're like 4 months into me working there. We're gonna fast forward 2 weeks. So we're at 4 months and 2 weeks. R quits because R is going back to his country. He only came to this country to just make some money and get a job and stuff, and he's going back to his country. R had also brought on his friend, but his friend not really important to the story. So R and his friend both go home to their country together, and now it's just T, Sarah, me, the store owner, and the store owner's partner. And then the store owner also took on another store manager, but she didn't last long because she had a disgusting attitude. Got her kicked out. So then we had another person come in, and she's very important to the story. This is a new supervisor that we got to kind of help us be more, I want to say, proficient in making coffees and just kind of following an order like this person. Because keep in mind, we didn't get no breaks at this job, y'all, and I completely forgot to mention that. But I've been working 4 months with no breaks. This man does not like you to take a break. That's part of the micromanaging. You will go and take your break, and he's calling you back off of your break to help on the floor. Keep in mind, he wasn't even helping on the floor. Like, y'all have to follow me with this, because sometimes I miss things. But y'all, I did not get a break on that floor. So it was like that, on top of him micromanaging and the lack of support and the coming in late. Like, this man does not know how to run a store. But anyways, I was not getting breaks. So when he came in and he would see us like taking a 10, taking a 15, he had this whole technicality rule that according to the state law, I'm not legally obligated to give y'all a break, a paid break after 20 minutes. You wasn't even giving us the 20-minute break. As soon as we walked off the floor and people came on, like customers came in, he would ask us to come back on the floor to support. What am I supporting? Like, make it make sense. What am I supporting? Like, you just didn't want me to take a break. Just say that. So I'm working there. We wasn't getting no breaks. Everybody was just like, this job makes no sense. Like, I don't know why we're working here. But you know why? Because the tips were ridiculous, bro. I can pay bills with the types of tips that I was getting over there, but it wasn't worth it. But let me tell you, if I knew that life was gonna turn around like this, I probably would have stayed over there. Because them tips, I can move out with those tips. Those tips were hitting, y'all. But anyways, the new supervisor that we got, I'm gonna name her. She's gonna be F. We're gonna name her F. Hold on, my battery's gonna die. So F comes in, and basically she's under the impression that she's coming into this new job to help us become better at making coffees and following like procedures of running a store. So basically he hired her to create more organization into the store, and that organization didn't happen. She was so fed up with this job within a month, and let me tell you why. Because first, when she was trying to teach us like coffee making and stuff like that, the store owner would nitpick on how she was teaching us, what she was teaching us, how important certain things she was teaching us. When she would let us go on our break, he would question every time she would let us go on a break, and she's like, no, I think it's appropriate for them to go right now. Like, she was standing her ground, and that I appreciate her so much for, because when it came down to other supervisors, they were just following what he was saying. She was like, no, they're gonna get a break. Like, she was holding it down for us, okay? When it came to making foods and making drinks and stuff, she would get so irritated because there was no recipe book, and she was like, where is your Bible, your store Bible? She would call it a store Bible, but she was like, every food company, because she'd been in the food industry for 15-20 years, she was like, every food industry company that you go to, they have a Bible. It is a recipe book for every single food that they make, so everybody would know how to make it. Why does he not have a Bible? That was her red flag for the store. She also would tell us about how he would micromanage everything that she was doing, and he was micromanage everything I was doing, everybody was doing. It was just micromanage central. But it's like, you're not gonna do it. You're not gonna teach us how to do it properly, but you're gonna tell us everything that we're doing wrong. Like, you're not making it easy to want to work here. So I'm getting fed up. She's already fed up. She's been here a month. T is fed up. Sarah's fed up. So I gotta, oh, here's another thing that got me fed up with this job. This man would not pay us. Oh my God, how did I miss this? Okay, y'all. So like 2 months in was the first time he messed up my check. He would like skimp out on how much he's paying you. I only got paid in cash at the time. When I was about to quit, he wanted to start getting all of us on like the books and stuff, but we were all off the books. So he wanted to start getting us on the books because people were coming in and just quitting. Like, people were coming in, like how R came in from his country, worked here, and then quit. People would do that at his job, and I feel like that's a common thing with off the books jobs. So he wanted to get us on the books. So if you couldn't work on the books, you couldn't work at this job. Crazy, but so he would skimp out on our money. So like, let's say we had $100 for the week. He would have paid me like 50, 60. I'm gonna say 60. He would pay me like $60. Why do I have to tell you how much to pay me? I sent you my hours. You know how to use a calculator. What's the issue? And then another time, he would give me fake bills. Like, if it wasn't skimped out money, it was fake bills. And then he was questioning me, like, are you making sure that you're checking customers' cash when you're taking it? What does that have to do with you paying me? Pay me my freaking money. Are you crazy? Y'all, this job was crazy. So many things went on that I forgot about, and it's like, I think my brain just forced me to forget, because no way I forgot this man was skimping out my checks. Oh my goodness. But next, y'all, sorry that I'm leaning forward. I got cramps. I'm trying to keep it together for this video. So now, speaking of skimping, tell me why. Now, this is what made me like, all right, I need to start looking for new jobs, because this is crazy. So this man, so we're taking Uber Eats orders, in-store customer orders, and mobile orders through their website. This person orders food on the Uber Eats, no, in the mobile order pickup food like thing on the website. I'm walking out the store, like I'm literally like, I got all my stuff on. All my stuff is literally on me. I ordered a patty. Keep in mind, this is a vegan, vegetarian, pescatarian store. It's not even real chicken. So I ordered a chicken patty. They give it to me, bag it up, put it in there. I'm waiting because it's raining that day. So I'm waiting in the store for the train to literally be, because I don't have an umbrella. It needs to be like 2 minutes away, and I'm going to run down to the train station, because it was like, this is the store. The train station is like right here. I'm going to run down to the train station and go to the train. I'm sitting there waiting for the train, and I guess the person who ordered the chicken patty walks in, and they're asking for their chicken patty. This man goes, I thought there was a chicken patty in here. I said, I didn't say nothing. T goes, yeah, we just sold it to me, Makita. So he was like,
yeah, but when customers are ordering, the customer comes first.
This man takes my chicken patty and says, I can't let you take this because the customer had ordered first, so they're gonna get it. This man took my chicken patty from me. It was on the counter. He took it from me and gave it to the customer. Who you taking food from? Like, bro, that right there had me like, I was so shook. I said, did this man just take my food to give to the customer? Like, I didn't just have to pay for it? Because y'all know we gotta pay for food now. I paid for this, and he was like, I could give you another patty, just not this one, because they ordered it first. You knew that they ordered it. You didn't bag it. When I ordered mine and T gave me mine, that was now mine. What? Y'all, I'm telling y'all, the stuff that I went through, y'all would not believe me. This is before Lux, because what? I let this man take food from me. Yo, that was wild. Y'all can't tell me that wasn't wild. That was wild. And he tried to offer me a different flavor. I don't want a different flavor. I want the flavor that I picked. You're making me mad, bro. Like, it's all of this stuff that really just had me like, Makita, why did you even stay there? Like, now that I'm telling the story and getting it off my chest for real, I don't understand what made me stay at this job besides the tips. And I'm pretty sure it was the tips, because like I said, the tips was hefty. Fast forward. So now it's F, T, Sarah, me, and the store owner's partner and the store owner. I'm working not the next day, but like a following time in the, I don't know when it was, but I learned that T got fired. I'm trying to figure out, how did T get fired? Like, what? And it was basically, like I said before, the store owner had a bias against her. He thought she had too much of an attitude, too much back talk, was having too much, you know, like pushy about her, how she felt about people and him at the store. Like, she would complain about a lot of people at the store, and he tried to like sweep it under, oh, she wasn't doing her job right, and she would overfill people's plates and, you know, like not listen and things like that, like trying to sound like she was like he was able to fire her, but really he wasn't able to fire her. But because she was off the books, and I think she wasn't legally able to work in the United States at the moment, because she also came from her country, but like she moved here, like this is her life here now. She came from her country, so she wasn't actually legally able to work at the job yet. She's not able to sue him for those kinds of things. So when he said she was fired, that was it for her. But that was so like wrong of him. Like, I personally felt bad for her, because it's like, at the end of the day, this is somebody's life that they're trying to get started, and you're just destroying it because of how you feel about them. Like, come on now. So now it's F, Sarah, me, store owner's partner, and the store owner. Now the F, she had so many problems with the store because of so many things that they were doing, but she also had a problem with the store owner's partner, but I don't think it was anything too intense that I need to share. But she had a problem with her more so because she had the tendencies of the store owner. But like, what do you expect? They date, they have a kid coming on the way, like that's who they with, you know, like when you with somebody you start acting like them. But the store owner's partner also had a problem with how the store owner worked around the store. So it's like, I don't know, like it's like you not trying to be right. You're trying to play devil's advocate, if that makes sense. Like, you're not trying to have an opinion. You're trying to just say what's on your chest. At the moment, it's on your chest. Kind of. Like, you're just trying to relate to whoever's around you. That's what it is. You're trying to relate to whoever's around you. And I wasn't feeling that. But anyways, at this time, the store owner now hires another person to replace her because T got fired. He needed somebody to be the cook, because at this point, F kind of got us more organized. We had people, like, every time that a person was working, she would be like, you're gonna be on food, you're gonna be on coffee, you're like, when it gets busy, you're gonna be on smoothies, you're gonna be on the rich. Like, she had an order. So during these times, we would have enough people on the floor. I don't know what she said to this owner, because before we would literally have like 2 people, 3 people max on the floor, but when she was working there, we started having like a consistent 4 people working every single day, so that we can actually do what we need to get done. Because you can't expect us to do all of these things and then you don't give us people to do it. I think that's how she kind of made it happen. She like broke it down for him. I don't know what she said to him, but she made it happen, and we had people on the floor. We had a new person that was going to be the cook during busy time. So he comes in, he's cool, I like him. He's an older guy. He's probably like 40, 50, like he's just somebody just trying to get a job, make his way during the day. So we all working together, and basically F is telling me and Sarah, because me and Sarah are the same. Well, Sarah's like a little bit older than me, like 1 year or 2 years, but we're basically the same age in technicality. So she's telling us, like, y'all need to get a job out of here. Don't stay here. I do not want y'all to stay here, because I'm getting myself ready to get up out of here, and I don't want y'all to get stuck here with this crazy man and his crazy wife. So but she's telling us this in secret, because the guy that he just hired, he's basically like a snitch. Like, everything we say about the store owner, or like, you know, like, it always seems to relate back to the store owner, and it doesn't make any sense. So it was like he was snitching on us and telling. So she would tell us, like, in secret, like, she would keep her mask, because this is the time that we was wearing masks. She would keep her mask nice and tight, but she would like pretend like she's doing stuff, but she would be like whispering to us, like, don't look at me while I'm saying this to you, but I found a new job opportunity for you to apply to, and like, she would be telling us this stuff while we're on the floor, because keep in mind, we didn't have her phone number at the time. So she's trying to put us on game and get us out of here before, like, she leaves, because she's applying to jobs and she's doing this, right? So both of us are like listening to her, like, yeah, I'm gonna apply here, I'm gonna apply there, but like, we wasn't really taking it seriously at the time, because y'all, the tips was banging. And honestly, when the store was slow, it wasn't a bad job to work at. It really wasn't. You get into the store, you're cleaning vegetables, you're cleaning fruits, you're blending like a smoothie or two, doing a juice or two, and you're like, you're chilling. So we wasn't really taking it like serious, but I think he messed up again, the store owner. He did something, and something ticked me off that really had me just like, I cannot do this anymore. And I don't know what it was. It was probably just he did the same thing that he was always doing, but I just was probably like in my emotional state, and I was like, you know what, I can't do this anymore. I started hyper applying to jobs. That last 2 months, I worked at a job for 7 months. My last 2 months, so we're talking like month 5 and 6, because I was only there for 7 months. So 5 and 6, I started like hyper applying to jobs, y'all. Like I'm applying. Like you can't get me off the computer. I'm applying. So I ended up getting a few interviews, and I'm now at this point I have her phone. I have a phone number now, so I'm telling her like all the things that go on, like on the days that she's off and the days that I'm off. She's telling me like all the things that the store owner is doing and all the things that the new guy cook is doing, and what the store owner's partner is doing. And it's like, because at this time I only worked in the morning now, because before I was working every day. And it wasn't just like every day. Like I worked every day for my school schedule, and then on Saturday and Sunday I worked literally from open to close. Keep in mind, open to close with no breaks. Y'all hearing me? I need y'all to follow that. So at this point I'm over it. She's over it. Sarah's over it. The rest of them, we're not worried about them. It's us three that locked in trying to get out of this job, because clearly y'all love it here. Kudos to you. But now I'm working mornings, she's working weekends, and then we also now have a morning crew and a night crew. That's where stuff also started getting hasty, because it's like, morning crew always got beef with night crew, but the beef that we had was something serious, because they would have a problem with our organized flooring. Like everybody does a certain thing at a certain station. They would have a problem with how F would go to do like supervisor stuff. Like you have to break down boxes, you have to make sure stuff is in the defrosting at the right time, and the clean, like all those things, like making sure the pastries was ready to get baked tomorrow. They would have a problem with her doing it during certain times of the day, and it would be like, y'all not even, you know what, it's not my business, it's not my problem. But yeah, we had like some drama that they would be talking about, but it was nothing serious enough for me to be like, yo, you need to get your night crew in check. I am at the point where I'm applying to so many jobs, and I'm doing it over and over and over, and I'm like, I gotta get out of here. I can't stay here. This is not for me. I'm over it. And then I finally applied to this job that I work now, which is Starbucks. And because now that I like that I'm moving out of this job, because at this point I'm telling her, and I'm like, hey, I got the job at Starbucks, like I'm about to leave. And she was like, oh my god, that's amazing, now I could really just pack my stuff up and leave. Because she was like, I'm just waiting for y'all to, because at this point she took us on like we're like her kids. Like she don't want us to fail, she don't want us to stay at this job. So she was like, listen, now that you got a job, I'm right out with you, like, girl. And she was like, at this point, forget Sarah, because Sarah, she was saying that she was gonna get another job, she was saying that she was gonna move, but she never was like, you know how when you telling somebody about your new opportunities and like telling them about all the things that you're doing and you're applying and you're doing this and what happened there, like she wasn't, like she was just saying like, yeah, I'm gonna apply, but she never was like applying. So she was like, you know what, forget Sarah, me and you are gonna get out of here because we can't stay here. And she was telling me like all the things that a job should have, that, and she was like preparing me, and she was like telling me like how to prepare for a proper interview, and just to make sure that I really get this job, because I was so excited for Starbucks that I was like, oh my god, I got an interview, I'm gonna get a job, da, da, da. So she helped me with all of that stuff, and then I got the job. And then the same week, so not the same week, so I got an interview and the job like the week before on my day off. Then my following day shift, I didn't show up to work. On my following day, so I didn't show up to work. The store owner had called me, so I'm supposed to be starting at 7 o'clock, because at this point I'm a key holder in the job. So I was supposed to start at 7 o'clock. I'm supposed to be opening the store. But what F did was she told me, she said, switch shifts with me so that we don't, so it don't look suspicious that you just don't come in. Like, keep it as you're gonna switch shifts with me. I'm gonna come in for your shift and open the store for you, so we don't like literally mess up the whole flow of the day for me. And I'm gonna call you in the morning to be like, hey, are you coming in? Because at this time I'm supposed to be coming in at 8 o'clock. She's gonna call me and be like, hey, where are you at? Because I'm not gonna come in. Then she called me. Then the store owner called me. Well, he didn't call me. He texted me. He was like, well, he called me and then he texted me. He was like, hey, are you coming in today? And I texted back like an hour later, and I said, yeah. I came in. I told because the store owner wasn't there at the time. It was F and the cook guy. I come in and I told F, I said, here's my key. And she was like, what? And then I was like, I'm putting in my 1 day, I'm quitting. And but she knew already, y'all. She knew. So I was like, I'm putting in my 1 day, I'm quitting. So she's trying to not laugh. She has her mask up even higher. She was like, come talk to me about it. What happened? So we go to the side and she's basically like asking me like the procedure questions, like, is there anything we can do to help you, to make you stay? What can we have done better? Things like that. And I'm telling her like, no, I'm gone. Like, I'm not staying. Like, I'm done with this job. Like, I'm over it. Because y'all, when I was a key holder, I don't know why I even became a key holder, because I was a key holder and he did the same thing to me that he did to R, and he did to F, and he did to his partner, and I think I just did it for the money, honestly. But like, seriously, I was being stupid because he would leave me in the store by myself. I wasn't getting the like respect that I deserved at the time that I was the key holder. Like, it was so many things that was so wrong with that store. But at the end of the day, I quit on the same day. I walked in. I texted him. I said, yeah, I'm coming in. Well, I just said yeah when he asked me that, and then I came in, put in my 1 day, and never saw the job again. And I am so happy because this new job that I'm at, best decision switch that I ever made. I get breaks now, y'all. That's horrible. But that is it for this video. I hope y'all enjoyed. I am sorry it was so long, but my brain was all over the place because I was trying to remember things, and I was trying to like make sure that everything was like everything that was bad was told. But I feel like I missed some parts. But if y'all have any questions, let me know down in the comments. And if y'all want me to do a thorough explanation of this, like on like a story on Instagram or something, or like a quick short, I could do that. Just let me know in the comments. Follow me on Instagram at Makita, MK3D8_. Follow my business page on Instagram at luxempulse, and follow my business page on TikTok at luxempulse. And I will see y'all in the next one, which will probably be a vlog. Love y'all. See y'all later. Bye.